So yeah, I've got that. I'm still fine.
Okay, well, thank you. So
I remember that one. Yeah.
Streaming? Start streaming yet?
Let me see what you look like on your camera. I got you. See if I need to move the flags over a little bit. Probably move the American one a little bit that way over the right shoulder. Yep.
scary.
And I'm not in the middle of the project.
I got my car parked.
Nice movie.
Keep me in mind what the Admiral military is power. It's power.
Is it live streaming already?
It is, yeah. I love it. I'm gonna get a chair. Because I'm like, the general cover is left. And I was like, oh, wait, okay. See, this would be a lot easier if it was an owl. If it was an owl, then I could put general cover here and then go this way. Like group round.
So it's just a heads up, we're streaming live at this point. It's okay.
You want to move the chairs?
Well, I'm not gonna move them. Because normally it's the same way. Like if I was general cover, you're standing. Here, everybody's different way. So if you look at the way they go one of those, sorry, you see what I'm saying? So it's an American flag. And the first flag is not a broken American flag. And the one spot flag is not a broken flag. You get where I'm going? Yeah, it's order of precedent. Oh shoot! I think I moved my car. She just showed up. Here.
Yeah. Okay, great.
It just was really neat. You could tell it was a paper. Okay.
No, they're good. I was just standing over the right shoulder.
Because we had Reagan. That was my Lee Marcus, he retired. He's a big Denver Broncos fan. But he couldn't do a Denver Broncos, but he found out that California had a part of the Pony Express, so this was right up. He got it. Yeah.
Test. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony will be getting started in approximately 5 minutes. Thank you.
I know.
Want a ticket, friend?
Nobody's watching. There's 5 people watching. We got it.
It's international.
She's right there, man.
Telling my best friend to get on the live stream too.
So that's just the that's the
Yeah, I was just looking at it.
the Zoom feed, but my hands are frozen. It's crazy. But this is how the video will look. So for my video purposes, it looks great for me.
Gotcha.
The live is solid. I mean, that's good. You know,
Which is crazy. I just put the stands down there and they evenly
just pushed out, right? I love when things.
Hey, you
come
got a
down.
live mic.
You know?
Whoever's talking there, you got a live mic.
For the longest, I was like, because I had the DD and came down Friday. So I was like, following him. Look, I gotta go. Yeah. You know, I can't just cut off with him. So I'm like,
Busy, man.
so these are people that are Who's doing
Female type. OCPs. Yeah. Just shoot with a certain dozen.
Sorry?
What are you shooting with?
6300 Sony.
Okay, that's a good camera.
Yeah, pretty decent starter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love Sony. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
If I didn't have, it wasn't so heavily invested in Canon, I would have gotten Sony.
Oh yeah.
Such great cameras.
I've heard that they've really stepped it up the last couple of years.
Dude, big time. They're like one of the top, like for video and for film. They're one of the top guys. Oh, absolutely. I love it. It's really good. And they're affordable. Like, well, relatively speaking, like Canon's at least $1,000 more on everything. It's kind of ridiculous, but Sony is like, as far as quality, solid.
I was impressed because I went on a de-ice mission a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
and I took this guy with me, and I was surprised we went all over Europe, and I was just taking pictures. I was just like, holy moly, this is great.
Yeah, if you ever want to jump up, upgrade the camera to 7S3, that's like great.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Good morning,
want to
ma'am.
wave hi to our people at home?
Oh, yeah.
We're streaming right now.
Where are you?
I worked on your Facebook page last night, so.
Yeah, everybody likes it.
It's beautiful.
It was pretty cold by the time I got out of
I was just thinking about you yesterday. I was like, oh, I got her some heat.
Oh, we had the 2 heaters that saved me. I would have died if we had the 2 heaters. The warmest thing I own.
Yes.
I don't have much interest.
I was going to say, your voice is kind of like.
Still looking at too close to the little.
Wasn't it? It looks
Trying to
fabulous.
detail it as much as the wheels are terrible. I think my grandmother did it. So look at the wheels.
I actually looked pretty good.
That goes for a long time to try to get it over.
Not crazy beautiful.
Ma'am.
But your grandmother. Not good. It's super cheese too white.
So no cheaper.
Oh, right. Yeah. Looks way better.
I tried wearing these things.
So we couldn't have like sunny down here.
Good morning.
How are you?
And you?
I'm good.
We're your creative.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You're inside every.
Am I sitting over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shane, Senator.
You're right there, front and center.
Over here, and I'm like, okay.
I like it. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I shared the live feed everywhere. So June's watching.
Oh, good. She's retiring. Is it? I was thinking it's March.
Wait, she lives next door.
Yeah. She's awesome. What's she gonna do?
I don't know. I thought she's going to travel.
And then even then it might open again.
She's got a
Yeah, that sounds like something that's free and what she needs to do.
Yeah.
Just waiting on film.
I'm here. Where I'm supposed to be. This is the funnest thing I get to do all day.
So I heard it's flying now.
Is it?
Yeah, you should be in the practice. All my Scottish friends are in the playground.
What a great picture to have you in the window. That'd be so good.
She hasn't seen it yet, has she? Has she seen it?
She peeked.
She took a peek.
Yeah, she took a peek.
I'm right where I'm supposed to be right now. I'm fine. Is this right? I don't know. What's the schedule? Flying tomorrow. We're going to go into I think we can schedule it for February. I know somebody. Do you want to do anything else? Like I just do make sure.
Did you text them separate thing? Not in the group chat.
Yeah.
Ask her to monitor the sound.
Okay.
Thanks, Michelle.
Do you know what time?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the
Yes, ma'am.
all right. You know me, I'm a yeller.
Oh, you don't want to be in here? Wait, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. She was in here.
So when did they bring in the? Did they hire the person?
That's 60,000.
That seems like
She's gonna monitor it. I told her if it goes out at any time to text me.
Have the same number.
She said, how does she monitor the sound when it's not monitored? She said your mic is loud.
No, she just if she watches, just watches the live stream. Not the Zoom. Like
The YouTube? Wow. Apparently she can hear you too.
Okay, great.
She was like, Paris mic is live, so was yours.
Everyone on the Zoom call, thanks for joining us. Everyone on YouTube, thank you for joining us. For the folks on the Zoom meeting, could I please get a thumbs up from everyone if you're hearing okay? Thank you.
Would it be weird if we go in?
Thank you, Colonel High. Appreciate you, sir. Awesome, awesome. Thanks, everyone. We'll be getting started here shortly. Just don't fall because we're streaming.
Well, kind of, sort of. But it's been a lot of fun. My boss has got that. And he's managed to So now we're just pretty much looking at Keynote, so we've got
Oh, take.
gonna jump in front of the camera.
You were prepping it. Yeah, right? I'm more worried about it not coming off.
Nothing, no buildings are marked around here. I just put the address.
Yes, ma'am. About to get started.
And I don't know where.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please start taking your seats, the event will start. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Staff Sergeant Fernanda Silva, and I would like to welcome you to this morning's ceremony. We are gathered here today to unveil the newly painted nose art on aircraft 5144 and pay tribute to the iconic Rosie the Riveter. The host for today's ceremony is Colonel Amy Howard, commander of the 452nd Maintenance Group. Distinguished visitors joining us today include the 452nd Aircraft Mobility Wing Commander, Brigadier General Melissa Coburn, the 452nd Operations Group Commander, Colonel Lara Morrison, the 452nd Maintenance Commander, Colonel Amy Howard, the 452nd Maintenance Group Deputy Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Keith McCrae, the 452nd Aircraft Maintenance Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Polly Ballin. Nose art is a decorative painting or design on the fuselage of a military aircraft, usually chalked up on the front fuselage, and is a form of aircraft graffiti. While begun for practical reasons of identifying friendly units, the practice evolved to express an individuality often constrained by the uniformity of the military, to evoke memories of home and peacetime life, and as a kind of psychological protection against the stresses of war and the probability of death. The term Rosie the Riveter was first heard in the 1942 song by Red Evans and John Jacob Loeb. It is a distinctive and symbolic term that refers to the nearly 6 million women who supported our military operations during World War II. World War II created a vacuum of skilled tradesmen in the workforce, and the women who were there to become Rosies bridged that gap. Given the opportunity, the ladies won their critics over with their hard work, determination, and passion. Once the war was over and men started to come back home, women were pressured to go back to their domestic roles. However, the momentum the Rosies had built set an important foundation, leading more women to become engaged in the workplace. Rosie the Riveter nose art is a fitting tribute to millions of women who played such an invaluable part of claiming victory in World War II, as well as the present-day airmen that continue to make the mission possible day after day. More specifically, it is a fitting tribute for a C-17 at March Air Reserve Base in Southern California to bear this artwork, due in no small part to the rich history this region has in the aviation industry, and to all the Rosies that contributed to it. We will now have a few remarks by the 452nd Maintenance Group Commander, Colonel Amy Howard.
Good morning. First, I want to welcome everybody to this event, to be a part, a little bit of history. It is an honor and a privilege for me to be here and to represent the maintenance group and the hardworking men and women of our group, and I'm very, very honored and privileged. I don't have much to say because a lot of it was said in what we represent. I know General Coburn's got some fantastic words to share. But I just find it so fitting that we have this piece of art that represents such a dear history. Last night talking to my husband, turns out he has an aunt that was a Rosie the Riveter in St. Louis working in the aircraft factory. And we didn't know until this. But, and then also to be a part of the history, serving underneath the first female wing commander for this wing. What an honor and a privilege that is too. I am not going to stand here and talk anymore because this is not about me today. So thank you for coming, and ma'am, the floor is yours.
I was forced to take my coat off because I look like a penguin in it. Good morning, how's everyone doing? It's a little strange. Here we are in socially distanced times, but thank you all for being here, and to everybody who's streaming, thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for the kind introduction, Colonel Howard. It is not lost on me the honor and tradition that we're about to celebrate here today. The first female wing commander in almost 103 years of history at this base. I'm very, very honored, and it is due to no small part of the contributions that have been made long before me. So I want to talk about a little bit of that, specifically Rosie the Riveter, which I'm anxious to see her. My first introduction to Rosie the Riveter and what that meant was actually when I delivered the C-17 off the Long Beach assembly line back in 2012. I had heard of Rosie the Riveter, kind of knew what they were. They were the women who, as was explained, backfilled in the factories, making aircraft, producing, while the men went to war. And when I showed up at the Boeing plant in Long Beach, it was very apparent that they carried that tradition on within their own plant there. So I got to meet up close and personal both the men and women that were putting C-17s together. And wow, what an experience to see firsthand those people that had painstakingly put every part of that airplane together, that I was honored enough to fly off the assembly line. It's a big celebration. It's an amazing event to take delivery of an aircraft. So that was my first exposure to the tradition of Rosie the Riveter, here, no kidding, in Southern California. And then when I joined the wing as the operations group commander, I had my second intro or reintroduction to Rosie the Riveter in 2018 when we had Miss Eleanor Otto join us here at the wing. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it today. We would have loved to have her come out. She is, no kidding, the iconic Rosie the Riveter. Started working in 1943, if I remember correctly, on airplanes. And her last rivet that she put into an aircraft was in a C-17. So again, it was an extreme privilege and very interesting to be able to meet her and hear about her history of contributions to the nation. Which brings me now to retired Master Sergeant Shane Meter. So I just got to meet her this weekend. Sorry it took that long to get to meet you in person, but what an amazing individual. Comes from a family of service, so she had many, many, many extended family members that served our nation. Her mother actually was a Rosie, which she mentioned to me, and again, like you mentioned with your husband's aunt, like we have these amazing women in our family history, and we don't even know about them until we start talking and sharing experiences. And so Shane's mother worked for Boeing on B-47s and B-52s. And then coupled with that, her grandmother was an amazing artist. So she got the best of both worlds, right? She got love of aircraft from her mom and her father, who also learned to be a pilot, and then an amazing talent from her grandmother. She served for 20 years in the Air Force, and when she retired, she began working as an aircraft restoration. She continues her work nowadays down at French Valley, and she's been kind enough to help out the March Field Museum. So if you haven't made it over there to see that museum, I would highly encourage you to do so. When I was talking to her this weekend, she mentioned all of the tails that she has painted here at March. So over the years, there have been many, many KC-135 and C-17 nose art done, but it was somewhat crushing to me to find out that when our aircraft go to depot maintenance, all of that gets painted over. And so I asked her, I said, why do you continue to do this? And out of, no kidding, the kindness of her heart, she wants to give back and pay honor to our service. Strictly volunteer work. So Shane, this morning, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for making it possible and leading the way as a woman in the Air Force for me to be here today. And thank you for this. I'm very much looking forward to seeing it.
Thank you for your doing work, Colburn. We're honored today to have the artist herself here at the ceremony with us. Shane, would you please come forward and accept a small token of our appreciation?
Token cannot close to paying back for your time and your talent that you contributed across the Department of Defense to the men and women that are here to March specifically. This doesn't come close. Might be the worst thing. So thank you. It's feel like it's over, but my heart of it is just,
We invite everyone to join us in touring and viewing the C-17 nose art, Rosie the Riveter. This concludes today's ceremony. Thank you for attending, and we wish you have a pleasant day.
I want to review it. Yes, because you'll get to see it.